What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of The, and we're returning to the 1983 album Soul Mining, and the next track in the playlist is The Sinking Feeling. So, sinking feeling, that phrase is usually applied when someone may have been hoping for a certain outcome, at least somewhat desirable, if not optimal, and then evidence accumulates or their observations suggest that it's not going to go the way they want, or that some detail, some scenario is not what they had thought previously, and the realization is dawning on them, and their anxiety, their stress, their worry, their sadness is rapidly accumulating. But I think it refers even more specifically to that visceral pit in your stomach or pit in your chest that can happen when you recognize that things you hoped for are not actually the case or are less likely to become the case. So that's what I think of when I see the title. Now, I would expect it, even if that is heading in the right direction, to have more detail, to be part of some specific narrative or scene that is painted. So yes, I do understand, even after only a few tunes, that the have incredible lyrics. So shout out to Mr. Johnson, and yes, I'm looking forward to continuing to get a sense for the way they write songs and the way titles might lead me in a certain direction or otherwise. So let's give it a listen. This is The. The track is The Sinking Feeling, and it's from their 1983 album Soul Mining.
All my books lay on the table, waiting to unfold. I sit and stare at my reflection while the darkness chills my bones. My head feels like a junk shop in desperate need of repair. The path of least resistance leads to the garbage heap of despair. I think I better get back in bed. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country. You can't destroy your problems by destroying yourself. Death is not the answer, for your soul may burn in hell. My memory, my fun deceiver, is turning all my past into pain. I'm being raped by progress. Tomorrow's world is here to stay. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country. I'm just a symptom of the moral decay that's gnawing at the heart of the country.
Again, I really enjoy that, especially for the lyrics. Now, the sonics, definitely that bass groove really stands out. Those organ keyboard lines, which get a bit more expressive and flourish more toward the end of the tune, they are also great. And the rhythm, is a bit of energy, a bit of new wave, people use this in different ways, but yeah, it's the kind of track that, in terms of the stylings, percussion, the groove, the energy, I would maybe put in that category. Either way, I enjoy the vocals, which are a bit more low-key at times and then get a bit more charismatic and expressive themselves. And lyrically, okay, so he's referencing, looking in the mirror, so he's making a self-assessment. Secondarily, he's talking about how he seemingly regards himself as being indicative of the moral decay of modern times. So maybe there is that sinking feeling that, I'm part of this generation whose time has come and gone, and actually, in some ways, I'm sort of decadent. Now, again, there could be irony to that assessment. It could be, what the powers that be or the leaders of society and culture are condemning him and those like him with, even though, it seems like he is putting it on himself, or at least he's buying in to that notion that he might be indicative of this moral decay. But he also talked about being raped by progress, which that's very Goethe, that's very Faustian, the idea that, progress, it moves along and it has its own momentum, and those who are raised in and stuck in older ways, even if in some cases it's entirely understandable. Again, see the story of the old couple who don't want to give up their house in Goethe's Faust. They get sort of swept aside, and yes, progress in the long run and for a greater preponderance of people might be beneficial, and it might be time to let go of archaic ways of being and understanding. But that process can often be painful on the individual level, and there are decent people who, again, will not necessarily reap the fruits of progress, but who will be mowed up, churned out, and kicked out or left behind by its inertia, by its momentum. So it feels like there's a bit of that going on there, certainly with that one line, which is, a hell of a line. I was not prepared for that line. So yeah, I'm curious what people have to say about this one, but it sounds like, again, there's a bit of a Goethe philosophizing about what it means to be someone who, again, is part of a movement or a style or a way of being that is seen as antiquated or less desirable, and everything is moving on whether you like it or not, no matter what pain it may cause you. So yeah, really intrigued by the lyrics on this one. Another cool tune from these guys. I'm very much enjoying the journey. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.